Hello. Today is April 29th, 2025. It's Tuesday, and at least looking out the window here in Harper Woods, it is kind of an overcast, cloudy day, but going to be hot, I think in the 80s, but then back cooling down the rest of the week, which is kind of strange. But that's, I think, par for the course for this time of year. Once again, I'll be reading from the United Church of Christ a daily devotional, using a Christian writing as a platform or a place to begin discussion about our life in the world today and how we see and hear, providing my thoughts and ideas that are generated by reading this and sharing them with you, and hoping that you can find something positive to take out of it and to see how it affects you and your life and community. The devotion for today is entitled Hearing Aids, written by Jennifer Ruthlin Garrison. And Jennifer bases the devotion upon Revelation chapter 2, verse 11a from the New Revised Standard Version. Let anyone who has an ear listen to what the Spirit is saying to the churches. And then Jennifer writes, I've been wearing hearing aids of one kind or another for 30 years. I've seen a lot of styles come and go, but the ones I have now are my favorite. They are so sleek and light. I hardly notice them when I'm wearing them. And it's so sweet, the way they nestle into their charger each night with a little click. But here I am at the audiologist's office because my reliable old friends don't seem to be hearing as well as they used to. After some tinkering, the audiologist concludes that they'll have to be sent to the manufacturer for repair. I'm fitted for a pair of shiny new loaners, and with a backward glance at my old friends, I head out into the sunshine. Sheesh, it's loud out here. Car brakes squeal and doors slam, and far down the hill, a train shouts along its tracks. Honestly, my first instinct is to go back inside the audiologist's office and plead for my old hearing aids back. But I've changed hearing aids before, and I know by now that it doesn't take long to adjust. I pause near a tree in the parking lot and pick up a bird singing, one I couldn't hear before. The music on the car radio seems more layered somehow. When I get home, I can understand almost everything my grandson tells me about his latest special interest. Those first moments of the new thing are overwhelming, aren't they? I hear you, but you've changed before. Remember? The clamor lasts just a little while. Soon you will hear all those intimate, nuanced sounds, beauty you couldn't have imagined before. And Jennifer's prayer. Open the ears of our hearts, God, and then give us the wherewithal to really listen. A couple thoughts I had as I was reading this is I was thinking of what I often say is we don't know what we don't know until we know, and then we can't unknow it. And I think that has relevance to our lives in the world, not just using hearing as a metaphor or seeing as a metaphor. Once we see things in a different way, or once we see how we're seeing or understand how we're hearing, we begin to see and hear things that we didn't see or hear before. That's one of the issues, I think, with many faith traditions, is that within specific faith traditions, we're often taught what to believe and how to believe and what stories mean, and we can't understand or see them in a different way. We can't even think or see that there's a different way, or hear that there's a different way of understanding them, until we start delving into it. And for me, that was one of the beauties and difficulties of my seminary education, was first understanding how it was I saw, and the lenses I wore, or the hearing aids I had in, that caused me to interpret and understand scriptural texts and stories in a certain way. And then once I understood how it was that what I was taught to believe and how I was taught, how that was filtering what I was seeing and hearing, and then being given the tools, new hearing aids, if you will, to understand things in a different way, to even think about them as someone might think about them in the first century, as an example, or in a different culture, really changed my understanding. And it was overwhelming, extremely overwhelming, to be deluged with all this new information. I had similar feelings when I moved to Germany and experienced a different culture, still a Western European culture, but different than the United States. And then coming to see how I, as an American, view and see the world, and how it is different from someone who might be in Germany or in Europe, would see the world and understand the world, and then coming to the realization that the way we were seeing and understanding had everything to do with what we were taught, and how we were taught to see. And yes, it's overwhelming, but you're not alone. And that's where meeting together and talking with others and discussing things so that you can see and hear in a new and different way is so important. I'm also worried that some elements of our nation and our culture are trying to fit us with certain hearing aids, certain sets of glasses, so that we only hear or see things in the way that they would like us to see or hear them. And that's not what God intended for us. That if we are truly going to live as a global community, we have to be open to what others see and hear and how they see and hear, and understand that just because it's different doesn't mean it's not legitimate as well. And I think also understanding that and can help us find common threads to build community across cultural divides. And I think that's scary sometimes to those in power, because they lose their power and control when we begin to see and to hear that there is a different truth than what they would want us to believe, so they can't control us anymore. Anyway, those are my thoughts for the day. Yours may be different, but I hope I've given you some things to think about, and ways for you to open up your eyes and your ears to listen and to see in new and different ways, and understand what you've been missing, and understand how others might see and hear. Hope you have a good day, and I'll talk to you soon.